Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm epistemic-gnomes, and this time we are going to do something slightly different. Sometimes I decide to do this. I would do more of this as like proof of concept, but actually not proof of concept, sorry. Assessing rigs made from other tutorials and documentation and see if they work. Usually they work, of course, otherwise they wouldn't be published. But there are sometimes many things that happen when we try to follow a tutorial. Things fail, sometimes things don't adapt to our current work because the tutorial is like for certain case. Sometimes it's not, it applies for specific case, and then there is sometimes we are trying to do things in slightly different ways. Sometimes it's a Blender version difference, sometimes it's could be even the character design differences. In principle, many solutions would be shareable, so that's okay, but this would make a very versatile tutorial, right? However, or documentation. So in this one, I'm going to attempt to do this tutorial. It has a different documentation than usual. It's not like there's a quick video here, so we're gonna get through all this in this live stream because it's meant for that. And at the end, I hope I'll be able to reproduce this universal sonic mount blender rigging tutorial by Kamau. So this guy is very cool in making this documentation available. I don't know the background exactly, but it seems like they were researching, or maybe they worked on some original Japanese sonic projects, 3D stuff, and then I don't know, but then eventually they found out or they developed something that would be reproducible in Blender, or maybe to yeah, so I don't know the background, but what matters to me, I've already read through this documentation and tutorial, right? Let's call it a tutorial, and there's a short video here. There are some cool stuff, and although it's not that simple to reproduce from this, the concepts that are put here are really interesting. And not only that, as if this weren't enough for at least advanced, more experienced riggers in Blender, there's also a file that was shared. So with the file, it's more likely, it's very unlikely that I won't succeed. So I have the file here for the latest version, and so there's some text here in this editor type, which is a text editor. So okay, the file already organized in this way, so I will be careful to read all this through, and we're gonna I've already checked the file and read and everything, but what I didn't do is try to reproduce it entirely from scratch. And this is what I'm gonna do now. I've researched into, however, I tried to understand, at least without trying to, what is going on, and basically maybe with some wrong assessments. Well, first of all, let's watch this short. Maybe I need to, okay, let me turn this on here.
Talk about being stubborn and full of surprises.
Long time no.
Halfway, take a few steps back.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the.
Okay, so that was the mount of the character with the it actually moves side to side, right? And apparently, according to the description, we can read something here. By the way, it's sometimes we forget, but in case you've ever wondered how I got HD Hero Sonic smell to move from side to side. Okay, so there's this some background here. From side to side without separate meshes. Now you'll know. Tutorial documentation file. Okay, so that's Blender Artist where I was at. Demo download. Yes, so I have that. I have this. This probably isn't the walkthrough type tutorial you were hoping for, so my apology. No, this is actually very interesting because this kind of documentation here actually is what most tutorial makers at least don't do, and this is a very rational way to put out concepts in a more theoretical way, writing, right, by writing stuff and getting some image screenshots. This is also a good way to get good concept, but I agree that by not having the step-by-step like entirely full video entire with details, it sometimes it's easy in at least in software, right, to like then to lose something. So thankfully there are enough content here to do everything. So let's go. So by just reading this and without having to watch the tutorial, well, I've watched the video a few times, but then by just reading this, this idea, this and then I started to use some of this concept for my own malt rig. I'll show at some point, and it worked really good. But there are things that I was doing differently, and then that is what I was doing, but for another purpose. So yeah, so there's many coincidences and actually some things to learn only from this for mouth rigging. So this is precious, folks, for documentation, even if we are not going to make a universal sonic mouth rig. And so yes, I was able to, thanks to some of the concepts that I put here, for example, this idea that the mouth interior or the mouth hole has some sort of directioning for let's say what's in the mouth interior content, maybe the teeth, maybe the tongue, yes, whatever is inside the mouth. I don't know if it's used on other rigs, so this for 3D cartoon is extremely useful because you can then move all the arcades to the sides like independently of the anatomy, right, of the head, of the skull. So the jaw, the lower jaw, of course we can move slightly in realistic, right, but not there's no upper jaw, right, there's no top jaw, but in here we can do that, and it works well for cartooning. I have tried, so really dynamic stuff. And then because the mouth goes to the sides, right, far to the sides, to the cheek region, depending on the expression, or sometimes not the whole mouth, is just maybe, you know, some highly stretching lips corner that goes there. And so okay, so yeah, very cool stuff here. Let's continue reading that. I'm giving this tutorial another place to exist, okay, just in case people needing to see it again. That's also hello after 9 months. Okay, so great. So there are other contributors, and that's it. So let's continue watching. So here I'll have to pause because otherwise we won't catch everything. So step 1, the model. So this is what I would call a ghost muzzle mesh. So the muzzle for these cartoon characters, right? So he at some point here he mentions that perhaps there would be other use for other character designs, and hopefully you guys can find some use for it too. And indeed, for the concepts here for 3D cartoon characters in Blender, I have already found good use for this tutorial, even though now I want really to see what I've missed. So let's hope I'll be able to reproduce everything here. We'll take as much time as we need, and if this takes too long, we'll do another session, another until we figure this out, until it works, right? So step 1, the model, the muzzle mesh. Okay, then we have this another face mesh that is maybe not the original one. Then we have some modifiers here. There's the playing with the shrink wrap modifier that will shrink wrap. So we have this mesh that is more representative of the face, shrink wrap on that one. So this mesh has no mouth, so this means that the lips here, or what should be the lips, they will shrink wrap to this ghost mesh surface, and the mouth will be able to float along this curved surface. So this is how shrink wrap. Of course, there are many tricks that worth noticing. There are actually 2 shrink wrap modifiers, and these allow for special tricks that I am gonna I found myself, the volume box thing. I'm not exactly sure this is what he's doing here, because he's using a slightly different setup than what I was doing, but I believe it's supposed to be the same box volume thing. So a double shrink wrap modifiers, and there's subdivision that goes in between, because I think, well, subdivide shrink wrap, subdivide shrink I mean, yes, that's it. So there's some logic here to get the shrink wrap, the double shrink wrapping better. Maybe I'm not sure this is required, but maybe it is for this method. So let's continue here. So okay, by enabling some, as soon as he enabled the shrink wrap, the subdivision shrink wrap, we see that this mesh shrink wraps to something, it smooths out, and it shrink wraps to this, which is below it. I think that's this mesh here. And then also, what happened there? Okay, this and then this. Yes, apparently. Yes, this I'm not sure, because we need to see the thing, but so this is called muzzle, this is called something else. Mouth mesh. Okay, mouth mesh. So the mouth mesh, then it's reshrink wraps after a subdivision to, yeah, maybe with the other feature here. Let's see if something changes. Here, okay, here it's clear. Above surface, what does that mean? On a positive offset, that means that it will offset by this distance above the faces, the face orientation of this mesh. So okay, pretty standard. We won't be able to push or to pull this mesh. It will really be sticky there. It's not, we cannot, yeah. And then there is of course this outer vertex group. We don't know if it is how it is wave painted. Maybe it's all on one, but possibly not, because then if it were, then all the mouth would collapse to the, because of the above surface, it would collapse, I believe, to collapse to the plane, this surface. So this will destroy the mouth, the lips, 3D lips here, right? So probably there's some wave vertex group work. Okay, and then next step, some stuff moved there. I'm not sure what will be. Okay, then step 2, the rig. Okay, bones, armature, skeletons, shrink wrap, mouth rotators. Okay, so the mouth rotators, these are controllers, I guess. I've seen the file, so they are, I don't think they are, I think, yeah, I don't know what the mouth rotator right now, so, but okay, so they use shrink wrap bone constraints, so affect bones, so this is very useful. We can shrink wrap them to the same mesh, right, the muzzle mesh, which is the ghost mesh for me, muzzle ghost mesh. So, and then it's invisible, right? So the bones are shrink wrapped, so we don't risk getting them inside the muzzle. It helps posing, right? It's a control rig thing, and this sometimes helps avoiding interpenetrations too, even though the mesh itself is shrink wrapped. So on its own it should avoid interpenetration, but if we play too much with the bones, the control bones anywhere, eventually we might end up with some bad interpenetration. So it's good practice to to be able to shrink wrap the bone. So this is a known practice in rigging, so we can use for many other features of facial rigging, usually like the eyes, the eyelids, many things. But here is used again with a muzzle mesh, so very interesting. So okay, let's continue. I don't see what is use simplify quick favors. Okay, then we have lots of pose assets here, good stuff. I really like the shapes of these cartoon mouths, and I want to replicate this in my model, but I don't know how to make that. I don't have a lot of experience in mouth rigging so far, although I have experience in organic rigging, and I believe this is pure linear blend skinning, so this regular deformed bones. So it's incredible for me how they are able to shape so many cool cartoony mouth shapes. This is exactly the shapes I need, perhaps with some more radical expressions than this, but I'm not doing sonic stuff. I'm doing something that maybe have some influence from this style, but I really like the shapes of the lips here, so it would work of like yeah, really good stuff. And of course we can exaggerate, so this is another research. There are some more exaggerations. See there, yeah, look at that one. So that's pretty cool. So if I'm by doing this presentation, I'm also learning at the same time myself how to make cool shapes that will probably apply to my own rigs then later. So another proof of concept for myself. So and here it's already shown that it should work that way. Okay, let's go. So step 2, this is the part that I'm least familiar with and that I dislike a little. I don't know very well how the potential of data transfer modifier. I know to use it for cloth rigging, for example, and that's it. For UV, apparently Muzzle's UV, so I'm not sure why this is required, so that's why. So we'll try to figure this out, but I'll not push too much understanding this. I'm assuming, however, that this is required for his method, and I don't know why it is required. So if we'll see in our own result as we go, if we succeed, then we'll reach a point where, well, without this happens, with this that happens. Okay, so here it seems to be about texture. We don't have texture. We'll have to paint some basic texture. Let's see what this is about. Mix factor, melt hole. Oh, maybe there's something about making texture. Okay. Muzzle UV. So even the ghost mesh is using transfer UV transfer. Okay. Inverse melt hole. Okay, so it will be the opposite. I don't know what object is here selected. Source muzzle. So this is not the muzzle object. This is probably this, the face. The muzzle is here. So it takes source from the muzzle, some UV stuff, on this inverted vertex group. So only for what is outside, but then this is dynamic. So this is a bit bizarre. Dynamic, right? So maybe that's why this stays alive, active. We don't apply it, I guess. Face corners data. I have no idea what this is about. Face corners, yeah. I should read something. Then UV, okay. So it's for UV texture. Maybe there's some I don't know. Maybe it will be there's some interpenetration between mesh, and this is a way to solve this by playing with texture. I don't know. I hope not. I hope it's just some solution for the UV texture, but then why would someone put that in the rigging? Maybe to have a complete set, because then maybe it could be difficult to UV texture this a model with this kind of rig, because so many things are affecting okay, so custom normals. Okay, this should be easy to do. You just have to go through those steps. Here you see what happens with and without. So sorry folks, this part I would still have to learn, but we'll learn together if you stick here. And if you know something, would be nice to check. So custom normals. Hold on, let's just see the chat here. Dan Young, hello, welcome back. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yes, I'm making this this universal mount rig challenge. I was mostly successful at my own mount rigging, the things that the proof of concepts I wanted to do, and then okay, I'm able to do mount rigging now, except that there are things that I still need to learn. So now I'm confident to pay attention to the right attention to this fantastic documentation here. And although it's not so straightforward, the results it is supposed to achieve are really nice. Myself, I'm a bit annoyed by the fact there are 3 meshes with a lot of modifiers. I believe there will be other ways to achieve that, but we'll try exactly this, and let's see what we'll do. Also, I'm doing that, not exactly that. I'm gonna use this, my own character, which has a sort of a muzzle mesh. We'll have to create those meshes. We'll see what happens. I have already a character that is ready for rigging somewhat, and we're gonna see what we can do. So this is and there is the file here, so we're gonna take information from here too. And so let's go back. Okay, let's continue here. Then the UV, okay, UVs, then face corner stuff, face data, alright. Muzzle UVs, UV transfer, that data, UV transfer, okay. No, normal transfer, cartoony effect. Oh, that, okay, let's see the comparison. Right, so UVs, right. Then custom, okay, the mouth seems to fade, the thickness of the lips. Then now it appears what the mouth interior. Yeah, there is mesh for the tongue and the teeth, so this is real stuff. Then without custom normals we get, so maybe that's the face corner data. So this allows the lips there to show in some thickness, right? Interesting. I think I understand. So it's a way to perhaps cheat and make the mesh get an automatic lips shape, sort of in this cartoonic way, but maybe it's more than that. But maybe this, let's say, maybe this helps obtaining this result from a flat mouth line contour around. I think it, yeah. We'll see what exactly it does, but we see this now. You see, it's flat. It's like the mesh has shrink wrapped and it's flat. It's an interesting, but if get it back, we can get easy, good automation here for this. I know another way to do something like that, but we'll try this approach. We'll see what happens, and then from that we can play with our crazy experimental stuff. So this is universal sonic mouth. Detail. Look at those mouth shapes here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we can be better, but do better. He could do better certainly. This is just a demonstration. The lips, you see, they are quite simple actually, but they show well in this character design. So what appears in the documentation here in Blender. Okay, so the detailed tutorial demo blend file. Okay, another document. Great, thank you, Kamau, Kianjahe. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kianjahe. So that's it for it. So that that was a quick thing with lot of it's condensed stuff. I think we will not be watching this anymore. This is enough. Anyways, it is here. We can watch from here, and Now, yes, if you see here, already in the beginning, these are other types of mouth shapes created by one of his colleagues or expression tests. So you see there are many more things that should be able to be achieved with that. Even something like that, so this is very intriguing. You see the wavy curve. So I don't know how this was achieved, if it was, perhaps it was also pure linear blend skinning, perhaps it was spline skinning, I don't know. I believe it's possible to use it spline skinning, but what I'm really interested about is can I achieve this kind of complex cartoony 2D like mouth shapes with pure linear blend skinning in a simple way, right? That doesn't need me to get like thousands of bones. I'm exaggerated, deformed bones, and have them. Yeah, so because in here he used like 8 bones, deformed bones. Yes, we'll see that. Okay, so probably this is deeper stuff, right? So but this proves that in principle, if this is correct, that we can make lots of other shapes. However, I'm not sure, but there is perhaps this idea that the mouth, the lips, has a tendency to flatten out. Here we don't see that very well, so maybe this but there seems to be some yeah, so I'm not sure here if they are using all the resource that the shrink wrap modifier offers. So this we'll find out, folks. So here we can start reading from this. So from that tutorial, I don't know the video. I don't know exactly how to start, except that I know I need to duplicate some meshes here. So yeah, we're gonna make a muzzle mesh. So this is the first thing that we can already do. We're gonna probably decide which is the place to start. And so from previous experience, I think I was taking this off. We are taking this off too. Yes, my geometry here is a bit bad anyways. I needed to make corrections. So we're gonna hide that. We're gonna hide everything that's in the way. Maybe this is already... Should we pick that one? Yeah, let's simplify. Let's pick this and let's keep with... Yeah, so how to do this? I need to make this. Okay. So I'm gonna hide that. No, I cannot do this. Unfortunately, so you'll hide this and hide this and this and this and whatever. So all this we can hide. We'll pick... We don't need to be showing this, I think. So this is the mesh that we gonna select all. Then we... Okay, screencast. I forgot. So here. Then okay, we certainly could make some arrangements here, but we don't care too much about the shapes here. It's we didn't finish this model. Maybe we should... I'm not wasting time here. There's more important thing to do, just a little to get, because it will look less ugly because it's unfinished. And so now we pick all that. We P and separate by... Actually, no, wrong step. Shift D first, then P selection, and then here we got the same... Okay, so now we get this. We'll call that Nixo muzzle, and we're gonna hide the first. And so you have the... If you see here, there's just a muzzle, nothing else. There are a lot of stuff here from... Oh, alright, these are from older... Yeah, we can batch delete that, unless there are some modifier thing, sort by name. If there is, we'll find at the end. Okay, so mechanism, action, props. I didn't make that. What's this? Mystery, I don't know what that thing is, how that appeared in my mesh. Anyways, there, it doesn't exist here, or does it exist? Sort by this was happened because I was using Rigify add-on, and I created I used a meta rig and then parent to C, and I forgot to delete. Oh, okay, so that was from Cloud Rig feature set, so that, never mind. So I'm gonna batch delete all that, because actually because we're gonna make other stuff, so unfortunately we have to batch delete all that. It's not gonna be useful for this. We can remake it anytime. We have the Sintel meta rig here already customized, but there are some mistakes in the face, so not using that. Just maybe later we need to understand better the face, the Sintel for the face. Okay, so that's nothing to do with what we're doing now. It's just the face that we work with. So here the muzzle, it is, I think, locked in space as yes, so just as this. So we don't want to be selecting it right now, we just want the muzzle. We can yeah, leave it as it is, so hide here for now. And then for the muzzle, I see some, I think this is, yeah, this is something from it looks like some vertices that were lost. Anyways, okay, get this screen. Does it happen here too? Yes, happens on her too. So maybe just some, take that, let's delete that, clean this stuff. Maybe it creates some problems, we don't know, so just be sure. Then probably not, just some random vertices lost. Okay, so then we need to organize it. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to take off the mesh from the muzzle. So the mouth, we don't need the lips, because this will be, right, no mouth hole. So this will be pretty simple. We just delete this face here. We select this, and then we need to have some stuff like that. And then we try to, yeah, we can use perhaps this with cursor. Then this helps in getting towards the direction that we want. Maybe just one more interpolation. No, just one more. Let's say subdivision. No, not required. Let's see if it's snapping. It is snapping in the mirror. So clipping also. So what we need to do is just to make sure we get those faces like something bridged. I'm gonna bridge in a very simple way, and here we get the last, and that's great. So this is good to smooth out a lot. Yeah, this we have some trouble here selecting. why I don't do this, right, folks? Okay, so here we got some interference in the rest, so this is not very interesting for shrink wrapping, because this is something I found about this. It's that at least it's just this area. So if we check here, it's not that bad. So we just need perhaps to get some stuff. No, hold on. No, still not. Okay, so I've just learned this trick here. So we're just picking. Yeah, there will be some distortion on the rest, but we can probably ignore this for this experiment. It will shrink wrap anyway, so this will be our muzzle, and it's ready to use. We don't need actually these materials, I guess. So take off all the materials for now, delete everything. We'll just keep that, and as I use myself, I'm not sure that will be a great idea because he doesn't mention that, but we will for now to simplify my own understanding. Yeah, we can get rid of the those things, right? So I think I got the crease, right? So it's -0. I put, yeah, I took off everything from this, and then the modifiers here, we get a subdivision, we got an armature. Why the armature is after the subdivision, I have no idea. Yeah, just a mistake probably. And then we need to am I selecting the something is wrong? No, I was on edit mode, folks, here. So for some reason I put that accidentally. Alright, and the subdivision I'm using 1, and keep corners, I don't remember this. Armature and subdivision, keep, okay, let's and I'm using crease, okay, just 1, okay, actually 1 here. Yes, why 0 at render? And then okay, failed rig Sintel object. Okay, we don't, there's no armature modifier yet. Yeah, let's assume that. Oh, I see, this is the parenting. Okay, that went wrong, we forget to delete, that's it. So yeah, there's perhaps we'll be finding some strange things, so maybe it's not so safe to work on this model, but yeah, maybe it will be okay. So this is just a widget, so custom shape. So let's continue here. Mirror, everything seems fine. Yes, and we don't have the armature, we'll see from the tutorial. Okay, folks, so materials, vertex groups, object modifiers, relations. Oh, still wrong relation, right, folks? That's bad. So let's take this off. Right. Good. So so apparently no parenting anymore here. Let's go back to the documentation. Let's start seeing what we. Okay, well, we have this first model. So let's see how we're doing here. Okay, the model. We're gonna read all that. So mount mesh. The actual mount model include the mount hole. The actual mount model, okay, the original, let's say, include the mount hole, lips, and rig shape keys. Oh, we don't have. I think he's talking about the file muzzle mesh. The dummy model, okay, my ghost mesh object. I forgot even to change it. I'll put it to so you'll see it is behind there. So what I used to do for my own use is, of course this is different, so I'll probably have to change this later, but for now we use wire, so it's there, the ghost mesh. So muzzle ghost, yeah, whatever. So we need to continue here. So we'll have to create this. I don't think he will mention this in detail. So, but I think I can figure this out. I've seen the file also, so we'll be able. It's not a complicated armature actually. Muzzle mesh dummy model must be higher poly than the mount mesh. Okay, this concept I knew already, and it's good that he mentions it. So you see, that's why you can perhaps use this happens because the how do you call the shrink wrap systems in Blender, either from object modifier or bone constraints, if they are shrink wrapping on a low poly mesh, they will stumble into the face the corners, and they will be the vertices, right, and the edge, and there will be bad animation motion, right? So this is why the ghost mesh actually needs some this is enough in my experience, this smoothing, but it could be more. Here I don't know if for rendering like you are made a 3D animation, this is one, and I don't know if this affects, but well, let's for now I'm living like that. So I think this is in my experience, you see it's smooth, so this is good enough. However, this is not that good, and this very bad. So this is fine. So we get for the muzzle the proper subdivision. So here we go. So there's that's the reason. It's not perhaps it's not explained why, but that is a complete model. So all right, I know that from experience on using shrink wrap modifier and shrink wrap bound constraint. So next, all of these modifiers achieve the complete melt at the top right. Okay, so that one. Place the melt mesh just over top of the muzzle mesh. Okay, they are just over top. That means over top is like slightly above, I think. Slightly over top. English, not my exceeding height over the top of over at a height. Okay, so this is also because of how shrink wrap, how he wants the shrink wrap modifier to work. It's not clear how much, but we'll see. All of these modifiers have the complete mount at the, okay, place the mount just over top the muzzle mesh. All right, we're gonna perhaps scale down the muzzle mesh. This is usually important to do that, so this is very important to mention, fundamental. But I think there are situations when this is not necessary for different setups, but usually this is good. Otherwise, the problem what can happen, I think, is that if we place them too close or if they cross accidentally on certain conditions, could be the transition between edit mode and pose mode, so the binding rest position and rest pose, or the binding, or in other words binding pose state versus binding pose state versus what else again, posed state, whatever the pose. So in this transition, if it happens that the mesh starts crosses the other object, the faces or the limit, the frontier, before the object modifiers gets to work because of the sequence of events Blender uses. So if that happens, the shrink wrapping system might get crazy there and the mesh gets disorganized. It can, I don't know really what really happens, but it can disrupt the what we intended for, because then the mesh starts to search for the normal it was intended to reach, but it is in the other side of the normal, so of the face. So that might be the reason. So I don't know, I probably should scale down the muzzle in this case. This is something I might I was thinking for my own project. I should check this out. Add a shrink wrap, and so here there could be an explanation for this, right? Place the mount mesh just over top the muzzle mesh. Okay. Add a subdivision modifier. This will help the smooth out. Good. The mount smoothly wrap onto the muzzle. Good. Add a shrink wrap modifier and target it. So after the subdivision, add a shrink wrap modifier and target it to the muzzle mesh with the shown settings. Okay, so there's some settings here, which is, so there's a sequence of modifiers. This is in the file, so outside and above surface. Okay, so this is the volume box stuff. So up, I don't know why exactly he's using this box volume shrink wrapping stuff, but I believe myself I was using this to maintain the lips, the 3D lips, because this is thanks to the outside. The outside and the inside, they work in a very specific way, and the above surface is different. It's all the others, they work actually I'm not sure what the above surface does, but for me it's exactly the same as outside surface. It's just pure snapping outside of the face, so the normal side, not the invert of the normal. So above surface it will keep snap, while the outside is more freer. It's like you can push the mesh outside, so you can deform the mesh to the outside of the limit of shrink wrapping, but you cannot push it inside. So because he's using outside here, it really means he wants to be able to deform this mesh, the mount mesh, not above but outside, right? Above it's shrink wrapping to the thing, and it's glued there, right, folks? So what happens when you have two shrink wrapping modifiers on the same mesh object targeting the same ghost mesh object, for example? Well, what happens is that you get not one surface, provided you develop anyways you get two surface, but two shrink wrap modifier, but actually they are stacking if we let it equal. So we need to make a differentiation between the distance, and then the outside distance is like the minimum distance. Wait, this is strange. If he's using while outside, why does he need above? Alright. Yeah, this is not exactly, yeah, we'll see what is this about, but okay. So there's something here. Let's see, mirror, there are armature modifier, subdivision, right? Then the shrink wrap, then subdivision again, and I don't know why we subdivide the mesh, but then shrink wrap. So the above, there are two above surface here, and both target the muzzle. The first at very, very low, so it's slightly larger, and then it subdivides, and then it shrink wraps again lower. So why the mesh has to shrink wrap slightly above? Then okay, it's, let's say it subdivides, it becomes smooth, this one, right? Subdivide becomes smooth, then shrink wraps on something that is bigger, then it's for some reason subdivides again. I don't know the settings for subdivide, and then it shrink wraps all again on the same stuff but slightly lower. Yeah, for me it makes no sense, but why this is like yeah, I don't know why this is if it's not for creating the volume box, I have no idea. Maybe there's some explanation at some point, but we'll see. Anyways, we can test and see why this seems to be so important. Create a vertex group of all the vertices you don't want to be shrink wrapped. Alright, this which one? It includes the inner mouth hole, the lips, and the lips, right? Okay, so it's an invert one. Okay, so it's a this includes the inner mouth hole, okay, of which, okay, of course this. And the lips, okay, off the lips, I think, inner mouth hole of the lips. So this means, and yeah, okay, so this means this mesh here that goes inside the mouth, that's following the lips shapes, and yeah, so not the mouth hole, nothing, there's no mouth hole mesh, right? So let's do this. So basically we don't want, this is clear, we don't want to shrink wrap. Well, I think it's clear. We don't want to shrink wrap these faces here, the lips, right? For me. And whatever mesh ends here inside. So we need also perhaps, yes, because this is a 3D shape here, folks. We already, I mean, it's not, yeah. Then this will be the end line. So we're gonna create here a vertex group. So this will be mod, this is the inverse of that actually. So lips, shrink wrap, lips inverse. So actually, hold on. I see, maybe there's an inversion thing, folks. There. That, no, the true inverse, so invert, and it's the same. I cannot read here, but we'll, yeah, so still not clear, but that's it. Not that version. Okay, so create a version of all the versions you don't want to be shrink wrapped. That include the inner mouth. Okay, so let's do this. Assign. Now if you check, there we go. Save. Then add that vertex group to the shrink wrap modifier and invert it. Alright, this is okay. So it's just an option. I would take everything there and as a vertex group. So this perhaps is just a simplification to get less mesh to be selected, right? So yes, I know this mouth here is not looking very good, but doesn't matter. It's not the point. So also the fact that we have this mouth, maybe should have a simpler mouth shape, right? For my experiment. Yeah, maybe I should try something else, folks. I'll not destroy the mesh topology, right? Well, not doing this right now. So let's see. This mouth is very different, right? So it's much more simplified. So this is what I'm concerned. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I need to change that mouth. I'll make it slightly more like this. This will serve my purpose, because even now this is, let's say, it's not exactly what I wanted for. So this is okay. It won't change the original thing there, but what we need to do is to at least we'll try not to edit this vertex here as we reshape the lips. So it would be like, yeah, we hide this and then we start to, yeah, it'll be like smoothing stuff, like no big stuff, no big deal, simplifying. And also we are going to perhaps do some trick here. Yeah, this will be difficult actually to get this right exactly as we want, but if we compare what is there, we are probably trying to make something as simple as that, maybe a little better. Yeah, I want something a little better, and we have to find out a way for this to work. So here it's clear that we need to so I've been researching some mouth lips for like usually anime stuff, even some garage kits, and then they try to reproduce those, sometimes rarely with some mouth expressions. Very difficult to find exactly, but because the style that I do has this manga anime influence for the faces, and I'm starting to believe that I need to try to make lips a bit more, yeah, that are a bit more like we see on certain, yeah, I'll pick a lot of references, and unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to reproduce anything alike. Yeah, I'll try to make something here that looks likely that, but it's not good enough. I need to see how they are done closely, right? Replicate. It's not too difficult. I know I know how to draw them, but I don't know how to model, how they are modeled. They look simple, but actually, yeah, maybe I should make model sheet. It's not for this, it will for other including my Dorothy model and this character too. So this, for the experiment, we don't bother too much. It doesn't, but at least I want something that looks yeah, this okay, so the ghost mesh is not helping. Also this mesh here, these materials are also not helping. So let's give something like, no, let's try to give also some idea of lips here, just to differentiate. So yeah, thinner lips. So this, apparently this is the, I like, probably just I need to try modeling the lips that I do for, that I was doing before, but with less details and much thinner, and much also a mouth that is starts smaller. And I hope I can finish this pretty fast, because it's not the purpose of doing this model. But then there's the wave painting, so the armature building. I hope this will be fast, relatively fast. Okay, let's see what we, yeah, this is horrible. So of course we need to push some, yeah, perhaps I should do this. This is not the mesh that needs to be, to get any relevance regarding the, here's probably an exaggeration. I don't need this this mesh here. Actually, let's not have it. I was using the proportional editing, so this was not doing well. So let's see here. Always I've been struggling, especially with the sides, the lips corners. I just want regular lips here. I don't want anything fancy, anything too good. Just I don't want just some horrible thing, otherwise it will not allow us to investigate how well are we are doing, right? So currently probably these lips here we should do some thing like here, and we can probably push this, and yeah, we can also scale this slightly, and without this also something like this. Yeah, now it's starting to get some okay shape, maybe shapes. This part we can certainly use with proportional editing and like scale down. This helps, and then we can try to smooth this. We can probably, and then there's this trick. There is the ideal size of this thing to start having on a certain viewport size, right? So let's look now. Yeah, this is very bad, but that should nearly, I'm nearly done, folks, with that. I need to practice more, see more how people model these things. Just doing like very without a model sheet also it doesn't help a lot, right, folks? So even with a model sheet it's already difficult, imagine without. Here probably this, so proportional editing, no, it's questionable. Do you, this should be better to get this. And maybe what we scale this just I'm really not satisfied with what I'm seeing, but this should work because it's just much simpler than before, right? So it should be enough. Oh, maybe the melt is too large, right? Too wide and without necessity. Let's use the proportional editing here and just push this. Now it can be larger. And this probably can very terribly looking, terrible mood she has actually. She wants to kill me probably because I'm making her that way. So let's smooth this out. We can try to smooth everything there. Okay, so it should be good enough, folks. Let's continue here. Finally, then you see the mouth starts close, so that's okay. Then we can try the shrink wrapping already. So with this thing here, okay, now we see that we can reduce this, right? So actually we are going to not shrink wrap this, and this. Alright, and then we are going to assign, so this will be the inverse, yes. So we don't have still an armature modifier, but that's okay. So shrink wrap, target the ghost, muzzle ghost, which is there. You see what happens? So all the mesh is okay, and on surface, now we do above surface. So the shrink wrap above surface, if you want to see, it doesn't let me, it's above surface, is different than outside. We don't need an armature to see that. And the outside surface is just like, for me it's exactly the same as above surface. I don't see any difference. I think it's on the positive side of the face normal, so above surface. So let's see if there's any difference. Select how read, right? Select how vertices are constrained to the target surface. The point is constrained to the surface of the target object. Okay, with distance offset applied exactly along the target normal. Fine, exactly along. So an outside surface. This point is constrained to the surface of the target object with distance offset always to the outside, towards or away from the original location. Alright, so that means that above surface is like exactly inside the surface. The parts concentrate to the surface with distance separated exactly along the target normal. Exactly along. Oh, no, target normal is like the face, so it's just sliding. So in terms of distance, I don't think there's any. It's more conceptual here. It's like how the blender will understand the faces. So this is like inside the face, right? Into the face, right? But the distance is the same. Now outside is free, so it's inside is free, but from the inside. So, and on surface, I'm gonna not read inside and outside because I already know. The point constraint to the surface, the distance offset towards the original point location. Okay, I don't understand what it's offset towards the origin point location. It's something similar to this. Towards yeah, so this and on surface and outside surface has some thing that relates, that talk about this towards thing, towards or away. Okay, towards or away, I understand. Outside, so away, towards, so from the original location of what? Of the target object. Original location should be the, not of the target object, but the mesh I'm shrink wrapping actually. So let's see. Always to the outside, towards or away from the original location. Yeah, I just can't. It's very difficult sometimes to understand what they mean exactly, because too little text, too little context on the naming. Anyways, we use above surface, folks. So we see what happens here, right, folks? So it planifies. It becomes plane, and then our mesh dies out in that. In that surface that is shrink wrapped, the ghost mesh surface. Okay, but there's a subdivision. We see here that it is before, right? So there's a 0.05. So let's see what does that create. If we get 0.01 first, it's still it is still destroyed, but actually no. What is happening here? Why can I move? I can't, of course. This was disabled, so this was on cage, so this I just edit to. Okay, so here it's not affecting what we can pose. I can edit actually. Here it is, so you see we cannot do anything. So this is just pushing, and it's snapped on surface, cannot do anything. So it wants very little, fine, 0.005, so slightly positive, 0.05 exactly, and that's the, we still need the target, of course, and we want the invert. So I don't know what's happening there to. It's a mirror modifier, never mind. So now it's targeted. Everything shrink wraps. Everything that is not this will shrink wrap. Is that correct? To of course on edit mode, because I don't have an armature, I must check like that. But strangely doesn't seem to be Nothing seems to be... Okay, this seems to be working here. You see what happens when the face is not... Well, actually... Yeah, there is some degree of shrink wrapping, but not all the mesh is... Oh, perhaps this mesh is not... is included, right? Let's see the vertex group. Hide this. Let's see. Why is it showing... Why I cannot see my faces? What happened here? Am I using some... Okay, what is this strange... Okay, I can't work like that, but I suddenly lost my... Oh no, this is just... Sorry folks, just Blender window. Okay, so here we got this something strange happening there for the... Alright, so if you turn it... Oh, all the mesh... Yeah, so... Alright, so all the mesh is shrink wrapping, so that's why we saw all that craziness. But yeah, so this is why maybe we need to continue investigate, because this is just using a muzzle, a mouth, then everything shrink wraps to it. But certainly there's something about it that... Okay, there's something else. So create a vertex. We are progressing very slowly, but that we want to understand bit by bit entirely and every detail, right? Add that vertex group to the shrink wrap modifier and invert. Okay, now the weights of your vertex group determine how free. Yes, this is the influence for object modifiers. That's great. That's that which possess vertex groups as that we can make for the object modifier. So this is very good concept. He's using this to determine how free the vertices are from the shrink wrap, right? For smoother or extrudable lips. Alright. Keep light waves on the vertices around the lips. Non-inverted vertex group on the shrink wrap adds an unwelcome ring around the lips. A non-inverted on the... unwelcome ring around the lips. Okay, so I think I understand why the above surface is using. Instead of using outside, he decided to have... hold on. Keep light waves and vertical. Okay. I believe I understand why he decided to... Yeah, so I have this, and actually this shouldn't be... Let's remove this. Alright. However, what we can do is wave paint. So something that we haven't... I'm gonna make this selection here. Then we go on wave paint mode. We're gonna... so the idea is that instead of using the outside, he will reduce the shrink wrapping influence on the lips with this. However, yeah, it's I know it's confusing. I'm not sure actually if I understood, but at least, and also this inverted thing confused me because I don't see why it needs to be that way. it's shrink wrapping the whole body. See, it's like I would do positively, and to everything else. So here, what it does, if I use that vertex group, of course the lips are still very strong. It means the lips would invert totally. If they were, of course, non-inverse. But since we are gonna make the inverse here, what does that mean? Is that the lips here will become blue, so free from shrink wrapping, while all this will become red, so totally affected by shrink wrapping. And here there will be some in betweening. So the light blue here, and greens and teals and greens and yellows, these will be starting to have gradual shrink wrapping influence until they are no influenced no more when it becomes. So this is interesting, and this means that at this point, if we check what happens to the, we can't, well, we know that the body is shrink wrapped, so this is horrible. Maybe, yes, the problem is I don't want to terminate my model, so I need to, this use of the inverse is ruining my experiment, and unless there's something about it that tells different here. Duplicate, let's continue, let's see if that, what's next. Wave painting, parenting, muzzle, what happens here is that maybe the face or the muzzle is, he's using different mesh objects for the body. Like this thing behind the muzzle, I don't know, it's not the head, it's something about the the mouth interior maybe. So it's a lot of objects, so that's why he can make this inversion and not suffer the consequence. In my case, it's more organic. My character is an entire, so so we can do something about this right now, folks. We can just to not make difference, because maybe this will be some impact. So what we do is that we need to separate we go on Nixo, and we want to actually we don't want to be looking at the modifiers. We're gonna separate the muzzle, right? So that will be like we'll do exactly that, right? So maybe we'll just keep another loop just so that we, do you have a shrink? No. Okay, so it doesn't help. So let's pick this and try to add some. We add just one another, that an extra, right? Then we make this selection. Then we press P. We'll call this. So in the future we can reconnect. So this we can hide for now. This is the real Nixo body, and this is Nixo mouth, And yeah, let's create some collections here so we can also new collection, so we can put here some things that we're not gonna use immediately. Mesh, and then alright, so this would allow for us to continue this thing, folks. And so, hello Alotsky, welcome back. Sorry, I was doing this stuff. The Yandex browser has a built-in neural network that translates the voices content. Watching broadcasts like this is a lot of fun. Yandex browser. I think you mentioned that certainly important. All right, so yeah, I need to get familiar with that. But then mainly because the neural network does not know working slang. See, this is a Japanese Russian thing. I think you mentioned that for the translate, and choose words as best he can. Inbuilt neural network. Even voices content. Oh, I see. Watching broadcasts like this is out of fun. All right. I'll need more content in that in context in the Yandex browser, but apparently it's popular in Russia. So we are going to continue here. Allow me to continue here. But yeah, the problem is that here I have some open windows and they block. They are in front of the chat, so I'm not seeing. I cannot. Yeah, it's difficult reading those things. It's already very small. Oh, I think I can do this. No. Is that the chat is in the another is the same. I'm using the tabs here. Okay, so let's continue here. I need just to remember to be looking at the chat over and over. I'm soon finishing this. I hope so. These parts. You see, there's some. This documentation. There's not a lot of stuff to read, so it's just on page 1, nearly finishing. Then there's a few more. Duplicate the to a non-inverted vertex group under shrink wrap adds an unwelcome ring around the lips. Yeah. Duplicate, I'm not sure. Yeah, it should be the case. I don't, but like so. Duplicate the two subdivisions and shrink wrap modifiers to get rid of any imperfections. There go the reason. The offset setting of the first shrink wrap controls. The offset setting of the first shrink wrap controls the lips, and the second offset controls the outside muzzle. Yeah, but the vertex group targets are the same. So apparently the idea of having double shrink wrapping stuff there, modifiers, is just to okay, so there's something though that we haven't do. We're gonna do this for this project. It's something I wanted to test, but it's a bit dangerous. Yeah, not that. Yeah, it's if we don't take note, it will be hard to revert. So we're gonna change the scale of the Nixo muzzle ghost. So we're gonna scale it down like for 0, like yeah, we can scale like negative 0.1. So add a actually scale everything. Negative 0. Yeah, it will add negative to all. Okay, we see there the top left corner. It's locked, so nothing happened. Scale negative 0.1. What happened to the... Okay, no, this set scale, so actually it's set 0.99. We see that is too much, so yeah, so it is complicated. Well, this is strange thing here, so we'll scale manually then individual origins. The origin of this is very bad, so actually in the center of geometry, right? So actually how do we set? Okay, we need to select the mesh and actually the mirrored mesh. My Blender crashed. Maybe because I have too much stuff open, or it would have crashed anyways. Let's open again, folks. So here okay, this is what I'm working on, right? So let's do again. So I get here, yeah, maybe it's on some interrelation to shrink wrap. So I just want to scale this down, so let's hide this. This is the muzzle, so we can scale down the mesh itself, but okay, so mirror. Okay, so there's a regular crash going on. We won't do that. This kind of, I think this has to do with the active shrink wrap modifier. Maybe there's a bug that because this mesh is actively shrink wrapping. No, it was not even actively shrink wrapping. Now it is. So we're gonna scale like box and bounding box selection. So the muzzle in relation to the mouth. So the muzzle must be smaller than the mouth. So you just get this. It will be very, very small. Oh, you see, because there's the shrink wrapping, we cannot see this very well. This scaling down, of course, is doing terrible thing. What we, yeah, because it's object, I just don't have enough experience with objects. So cursor, yeah, so if I wanted to, yeah, there's no center here. This should help. Now there's not, yeah, okay, but then, yeah, same scaling. I don't understand this scaling. It starts to go to the origin. So hatred objects, let's just do this, folks. That's it. So this will guarantee that the ghost mesh object starts below the, yeah, but someone taught me there is a calculator in Blender to find interpenetrating mesh. it is the, I don't remember where to, inter find missing files, find mesh. So no, I think it's select. How will I find this now? Now it's not select, view, no, object, no. Maybe it's an option, not an operator, so it's something like it should be on edit mode, track. No, there's nothing like that. Clean up, no, remove, show, hide. Well, for example, if I want to find non-manifold, oh, and now I'm on edit mode actually. Okay, so so non-many split non-planar faces, no. Select, alright, so let's see. Checker, deselect, lasso, select sharpness, select cylinder, select all by trait, maybe something like that. Perimeters, coplanar, select by trait, select more or less, select loops, select linked side, no. Alright, so but there is a method and it can be used for animation too, but it's complicated. You need to activate the stuff for seeing the mesh on edit mode. So you have to have a 3D animation or a pose, and then you have to maybe keyframe or not, and then you have to have the armature on cage and on edit mode, then the mesh on edit mode, which you can select, and you can play the pose. You see in real time the mesh, just like something like here. You have on the popover menus, you have this face orientation, right, which gives different color. For the blue one is the real one, and the red one is the back of the faces. So the normals are pointing forward. This is, so it will give colors to the interpenetrations. So maybe it is somewhere here. Mesh analysis, overhang, intersect. Yeah. So here I can see where there are intersecting mesh. I'm not sure that's the case, but we can check. Actually, I just want to solve the Nixo, not the ghost. So here apparently is not meshing. So I think that was it, folks. This is this mesh analysis thing. Turn it on. We can also have this for the normals if you don't like face orientation. I particularly find face orientation strange if not used with the colors. They mean nothing. What is outside, what is inside. Then type. I think intersect would be interpenetration, but currently it makes no sense. Then overhang, maybe. Yeah, I think it was that, but I don't remember. Sharp. If it were the interpenetrations, it should show intersect, right? But nothing showing, so yeah, pretty annoying. But what we can do, however, we can fix this manually. We can also make easier trick here, because now the ghost mesh is as a wire, and this doesn't help in showing what it actually doing. So I need to have it selected to be able to edit this. Then yeah, so now we see the interpenetration. So what we do, we just, I don't want the mesh analysis, is not helping. We can just figure out the interpenetrations ourselves. So this is the recommendation in the tutorial, to not have, well, it doesn't tell about interpenetrations, but it tells about the fact that we need to scale down in some way the ghost mesh, or that stuff in relation to the muzzle, in relation to the mouth. And so we're okay. We are making it slightly more different than the ghost, but it doesn't need to match perfectly. It's just that it will be more accurate if it matched perfectly. I'm changing this mesh, but the other mesh is not changing, so it's just unfortunate. We'll have to reduplicate, then separate, the rejoin to recreate the muzzle, join the separated mesh from this, duplicate separate to this. So this will be the active element, so we don't lose those modifiers, we don't lose we preserve the original object, and we destroy the join object. Here too, I think there are, no, it's good, no, maybe here we can change here. Alright folks, so I see now a lot of, it's much worse than I was thinking. Okay, but this is not absolutely necessary. It's like, no, it's just illusion, or not. It shouldn't be, because these faces are, yeah. Alright, so we can smooth this out. Maybe we can do this right. There we go. This mesh will shrink wrap. So let's see. Let's hope it doesn't crash. Okay, no crash. And something strange happened here in the... Okay, because we won't use the mirror modifier, we probably, yeah. I think we got these faces, yeah, we need to clip this stuff. Here, actually, here, and here, and here. Of course, the proportional editing is not, actually it was, okay, just pick this. I don't know why I'm not being able to, I was scaling, it's just G. Okay, so there we go. It's okay, nothing was wrongly clipped, so we can continue, folks. Now if I subdivide, and this is just one, the other needs more subdivision, so it's two, so we shrink wrap, and so here we go. It gets a smooth shape, and it goes to match the ghost mesh, and then the muzzle ghost. So then we here we can also check here the idea of duplicating the subdivision, so for something, then we reshrink wrap after the subdivision to avoid imperfections. Sounds interesting, but I really don't know why this would. And also here the value he sets to 0 for some reason, and it's the same above, is everything the same there except the offset. So this like means the mesh, the extra subdivided mesh, after having shrink wrapped once, it will resubdivide, so it will smooth even more and try to reshrink wrap to somewhere below as it was shrink wrapping. So first time it tries to shrink wrap here, next time it tries to shrink wrap a bit lower. So I got the idea. I think you got it, folks, too. Basically it tries to adjust the mesh to the surface, right? It's like minute stuff, but it could be very relevant. Okay, you have more object modifiers. So no, this had nothing to do with the concept that I've discovered about, at least not this particular use. Maybe there are other uses he makes. I didn't know about this use. Very clever, very cool. So alright, so this is paying off, folks. Let's continue. Very interesting, this method. I don't know, I'd use especially for a cartoon character. Why very stylized. There are other ways to. For me personally, one set here is already good enough, and we can also add corrective smooth, right, to the so. But okay, there are different ways to do things in Blender, so that's one extra way to know about. Maybe this is very relevant in certain productions, right? For me it just seems like overdoing stuff, but certainly there's a good reason for that. It just, for me, it's a bit well, curious. I would like to know more about that. Why? If there's a reason, but at least we have good clue now. Now you get some good point on this. And so yes, there are some things that could be better explained, but this is not a class, it's just a tutorial, and also in video tutorials that are long, they can't cover everything. So let's continue here, folks. Duplicate the two subdivisions to get rid of any imperfection. Okay, it doesn't explain why or which, but we got the idea. Yeah. The offset setting, it tries to explain basically the functionality. It tells the functionality, that's it, the purpose. It doesn't nearly explain detail, but that's okay. The offset setting of the first shrink wrap controls the lips, and the second offset controls the outside muzzle. The offset setting of the first shrink wrap controls the lips, and the second offset controls. Oh, this is something from some other. There's an asterisk somewhere, which I do not see. It seems to be something about the. No. Yeah, so the offset set, I don't know what the offset setting is, probably the distance here. Offset, okay, here. So the first offset controls the lips. So it means that it should be used to shrink wrap. It does shrink wraps the mesh above surface. What should that do? It doesn't snap. Okay, it doesn't snap the ellipse because we are already protecting it from the vertex group, right? Invert vertex group. So that's why. So I don't know why it relates to ellipse, because for me they are doing the same thing. They just do it on different, slightly different. So unless there's something here that was wrongly made according to the instructions, but no, I think, and perhaps this is, and the second offset controls the outside muzzle. Okay, the outside muzzle is the mouth mesh. So because these both affect the same mesh object and shrink wraps to the same mesh object. So this means that this is more, because for him the ellipse is even simpler than that, right, on that character design. So that would mean maybe we will not be able to see here because we are a different model, right? So this starts to make difference. And so basically it would be like this would affect more the ellipse, and this would affect more this mesh, the muzzle, the real muzzle, right? Okay, folks, so we not got perfect. Let's see the image here. We should have seen that before. Check them before here in the live stream. So okay, then we got some stuff here, and okay, what for? Okay, we have some, oh, these numbers here. Place the mount mesh just over the, okay, so here the offsetting here distance is somewhat as we've done. All right, so this is some complications here. I haven't seen. Now I can see. Add the subdivision modifier. This will, okay. Add a shrink wrap. Okay. Create a vertex group of all the vertices you don't. Okay. That's what we've done. So the mouth in red. There's a mouth interior also, but it's not really, we need to check this from the, yeah, and that it's red. So from the this is the wrong face, the back of the face. So but we see their waves. We'll only do that when we assess the file. Avoid these imperfections bricks. Okay, and then what is this? There's something there, some sort of imaging. I don't understand where is that. So yeah, I want to try to understand that. Probably something, might be a curved ellipse, I don't know. Yes, completed one page. So let's continue the rig. Okay, I like that part more. The bones, root bones. So okay, mouth rotation bone. Position this bone accurately to rotate along the muzzle. Shapes does not need to be perfect. Yeah, I know what that means. Make this bone the parent to the mouth position bone. Okay, so there's two bones here that allows for easier posing with no snapping. Okay, so there is, make this bone the parent of the mouth position bone. Alright, so that's it. Let's create this thing. Is like I've seen this in the file. We'll check this, but we'll start in construction here. So let's add an armature here, armature object, then single bone. Then we can go on edit mode. Let's start bringing this bone up, and then this bone we can okay, I hate this default thing with no access. I need to save my startup file, so stop suffering like that. Access, that's it. Names, yeah, we don't have too many bones. Let's keep that, will be more didactical. So also I think we would be using these bones, is fine, octahedral for now. So we want to rotate probably this too. So rotate like that, then we align again to that, and then we get this head or muzzle, whatever. For us this is the, well, head, just to maintain some, although we could call it something, maybe jaw arcade, I don't know. Okay, so there is how the mouth rotation and mouth position. So okay, mouth rotation, and there is another bone we can extrude from it. And this will be mouth position. So if we pick them both, we can probably get this to pivot like here. And this, yeah, this orientation is probably not important. So here along normal, we can probably do this. I don't think, yes, currently they are parented like this, but we do disconnect parenting. I guess this is fine. Along normal, they will be aligned like that. We can give some colors here, but not that important. So I think this is proper parenting. Let's see. Yeah, they are parented offset. So make this the bone parent of the mouth position bone. Okay, so this is use as a shrink wrap bone modifier with align normals. This is wrong. This is shrink wrap bone constraint, but that's okay. But there's no align normals to object modifiers. This is a feature only for shrink wrap bone constraint. To get controlled movement across the muzzle. Okay, this is very cool. And then this I know already. Be sure the default position and rotation. Okay, the rest position, binding pose state is very important to know. Let's see if there's something new here for us. Be sure the default position, rest position, and rotation roles, right? The orientation, the positioning of the bone are the same as the normal alignment given child of the mouth rotation bone. Okay, so they want alignment, perfect alignment. We got that because of our stuff. So if we don't, we just, for example, if this is tilted in any way, just get this thing wrong at least, and then do that, and there we go. So because my blender crashed, I have to put the screencast. There we go. Now their alignment is, they are perfectly aligned. Then because on pose mode this is parent, this will do this, and of course we need probably more stuff here. So then there's the shrink wrapping. Okay, so there's some, make this bone the parent to the mouth position bone. Yes, but then we have something, there's some bone constraint here that, oh, this is the shrink wrapping. Okay, but if this is the child, so the other is not following, right? So maybe it was the, no, it cannot be that. So maybe it's something. Yeah, I know how to do that. It's just, but it's okay. So now the cool thing is that we are gonna use the shrink wrap modifier here. We cannot use the unfortunately we can make we cannot pick the muzzle like this. That's like the bone and do a Ctrl+Shift+C to shrink wrap with the target. It needs to be manually done, so like this, and there it is targeted, and then the align to normal, it would be the Z, I think. Align to Z, and then align there. No, on surface there. Maybe I did it wrong. It's not Z. Align Y. Yeah, so now we got this alignment, and on surface. Okay, so you see, I don't use align normal, but maybe this on currently on my rig, but this will do. Okay, it's snapping, so that's fine. Otherwise, it will be doing, it wouldn't align, it will be just doing this. So it's a cool feature, but not necessarily, not always useful for the shrink wrapping, especially on, because then you cannot, you see, the bone is constrained in 2 axes. It just rolls now. So and snap on surface. Let's see. And this is where, if the subdivision, this is a case when if the ghost mesh object, the target of the shrink wrap, doesn't have enough subdivisions, then the posing here will be a bit bad, and it will appear in 3D animation too. So currently it's not snapping too much, so stumbling into the faces, so it's kind of working smooth, but not that smooth. You'll see that if we get this to the muzzle to get just the, like, it's already a lot, right? But let's say it gives even more, this would probably give, yeah, I don't really, yeah, doesn't. But if we get it, for example, just one or actually no subdivisions at all, you'll see what will happen. That is horrible, right folks? So not good. We need at least, in my experience, we'll show here. Let's try subdivision of 1, and then it's still bad, right? You see that it's a bit strange how it moves, even when we don't do something crazy. But yeah, it's this warping is just because we made, yeah, this warping is not expected to be like that. There's something strange happening at this point, but there you see it's not very smooth, but it works already. And if we get to 2, then it should be better. Yeah, now it's smoother. Is not still making this warping stuff. Maybe this warping stuff is the align to, yeah, is the so that's why. Okay, let's see if we get back here. Let's see if we can do something here regarding. Okay, so then the data here, it's I think it's 0 0, so surface point on surface Y. Okay, here's Y. So in our case we've seen that that alignment is not that, it caused the warping at some, but fortunately is only on certain parts, as it's about the geometry, so we'll keep it. Okay, I don't know what I've done, so I think I might have set oh no, this is just, yeah, I just got the texture. Okay, folks, I really don't know what happened, but we'll try to find out. No, the mesh is okay. It's just shrink wrapping, and that's okay. So let's keep as this is. So the ghost mesh object is there as usual, so nothing wrong apparently. So this is pretty cool, right? So now let's go forward. We got okay, all that good. Then child amount, the wave painting. Okay, so hold on, I'm just trying to see if there's anything I've missed. No. So when I rotate this thing, oh, I've deleted the armature, I think, or it went somewhere. Yeah, I think I've deleted the. Can't I go back? How did I? Yeah, okay, anyway, so let's create it again. It will be pretty easy, no big deal. So Shift A, armature, single bone, let's bring it up, then get this bone to rotate axis on with name, so rename head, then this to global X, then up, then we bring it some larger, perhaps here, then we rotate it down, then we extrude, and this will be naming that mount position, mount rotation, then we parent this here. Yes, disconnect parenting, then we create a shrink wrap here. Of course, first align here. We can actually take it from normal like here, then we create the shrink wrap bone constraints. Shrink wrap is here, and then target muzzle. Okay, this is on surface, and Y, then align, and there we go. So if I get this to rotate, we get, right, the other bone is like mapping the, you see, it's following, and we get good, yeah, now it's even easier, yeah, so there you go. This is the for the armature for now. Control, so here, and then we see here what you more or less some ideas here. Wave painting. 8 lip bones are wave like an average cartoon or sonic mount rig. An average cartoon or sonic. Okay, so this is good to know. I didn't know that 8 bones would be the good amount of deformed bones for the lips on a cartoon like that. Or maybe yes, this could work for many other cartoons. So with the lip bones parented to the mouth position bone, I see, you can simply slide the mouth around the muzzle. Very interesting. Add light waves to the mouth position bone. Add light wave to the mouth position bone to increase the flexibility of the lips position if necessary. Okay, so even the mouth position, not the mouth rotation, so the mouth position, this one, can be a deformed bone with very slight weight. So blended waves, right? So this is a technique that I use a lot. So basically this is the interior. What is this? Lip U, top lip. Oh, this is the okay, this is from below. This seems to be a vision from below. Lip U, top lip waves, and yeah, the mouth is open, like slightly open, like that. I think this is a vision from below, assuming from the character design. And then here is some, I don't, melt position waves. Melt position waves. I don't quite get this picture here. This certainly is the melt hole, but we seems to be looking from behind, so this was the muzzle, and that would be what? Oh, I see. This is that thing there, the melt interior. So it's like, I think I get it. This is like the muzzle. The mouth is located to the side, and you have waves behind the mouth, like in the region here for some reason. Internal deforms that sometimes might be useful. And then this helps to deform the muzzle all far away from the mouth, but it's not what likely to the mouth position to increase. Okay, so I see, folks. So actually, yes, this is very cool, very cool. So this is a way to get the blended weight, but it was not the way I was thinking. I was thinking the overall the lips, but actually no, this goes around the lips, so it's a way to stretch the mesh. So this was I was doing with spline skinning, but on different combination. This is very interesting. I think we're gonna try that. So let's go for wave painting, folks. So as we see, here are the deformed bones. We are going to create them from this position here. Actually, no, this. So Shift A, then Z will be facing up. So according to here, there is one. Yeah, they are very regular stuff. So they have, the orientations are like, okay, what about their positioning? The mouth starts open. Yeah, there's a problem here. We don't know the rest position, so this picture is like confused, but I think it is the, okay, not this, but global. So we're gonna, so what is this will offset a lot apparently, so it will be not very. So Shift D, we're gonna call it lip top, lip up left, lip up. Then yes, we're gonna have some, then we can symmetrize that, then we can okay, why, okay, need that, even that, and by default is not enabled, so we're not going to, yeah, we can use something, rotate Z on rotate Y on 45. Okay, we do that. Then we're gonna duplicate that. We are going to rotate Y 90 degrees. No, rotate Y on, rotate Y 45, rotate Y 45, right? We do this. We are going to, yeah, duplicate this one, then rotate 90. We are going to get it like here, maybe some place in between. So the positioning, they make some sort of circular, okay, so this is more or less what we are doing. We're gonna let's just approach here. Then here we're gonna call this lip, just lip left, and then we symmetrize, and then we should parent all of this. Exit, this is already parented, so now parent to this, to the mouth position, no, to the mouth position. I think this was, yeah, something like that. It's they look too big, these ones for me, so let's just reduce according to the right. We give them perhaps some this also is too big bones, so let's just get, then here we're gonna make some bone groups, so must be on pose mode, so reset, so this will be the, so let's create some groups here, and this will be the deform, could be that, so all except this, and this will be red, then this could be, I don't know, orange, and then this could be like that color here for some sort of master. This color is not very good, so let's give it this to differentiate. This could be actually teal, something like that. Yeah, okay, so I'm okay like this. So it's not looking that the shrink wrapping will be able to, of course this is not the, should be this one we pose, right, be more, okay, so it seems to be accurate that we'll be able to move the lip, the mouth like that. Of course we need the wave painting, so 8-little wave like an average cartoon, so okay, we don't know exactly what, so yeah, so this will be something very simple, so high waves on the lips and then starts to blend out. We could do automatic waves, there's no recommendation here, we can try. Let's try this. So the idea of automatic waves is just, of course we don't want this, we can hide the muzzle for now, the ghost muzzle, so we get this, and let's see if we can oh, there's no parenting, right, so I need to make the parenting, maybe I got the wrong order here, folks. Parenting, yeah, this is confusing a little, but that's okay. Parenting, I suspected something was parenting. Lip, teeth and tongue, so there are some bones are all parented to, there are tongue bones, teeth bones are parented to the mouth position bone. Okay, place the, okay, this would be like the head bone. Place the teeth tongue well to avoid clipping when moving the mouth position. Okay, this is very important and sometimes very hard. So apparently they have bones that on the one, so okay. This is a practice that I don't have a lot of experience because the teeth, the gums and the mouth interior, all that for me is a single mesh object. So this is interesting, maybe this is why I was having some issues, but there is, yeah, found workarounds, but maybe I don't know what is better, to be fair. But this is interesting, maybe we make some tests here, but it will require creating this interior. We're not gonna create the interior objects yet, it's a bit too much, but maybe at the end to try to match. So muzzle deforms. In order to deform the muzzle section to the mouth mesh, the muzzle mesh itself needs to be deformed along with it. The muzzle mesh, so the ghost mesh that is behind, needs to be deformed. So this is important, very very important. In order to deform the muzzle section to the of the mouth mesh. The muzzle mesh itself needs to be deformed along it due to the shrink wrap. Well, that's very clear for me, but only deforming the muzzle mesh could result in the mouth mesh peeling of the muzzle. Only deforming the muzzle mesh could result in the mouth mesh peeling off the muzzle. Let's see if there's some example. I don't see exactly, and anyways, this plus this. Okay, these are wave painting on the mouth mesh, and this on the muzzle mesh. So they are similar, maybe not equal. Only deform the muzzle mesh could result in the mouth mesh peeling off them. I don't know the what the meaning of that. Only deform the mouth mesh result in topology shifting. Okay, of course need to wave paint the two. Of course, I think usually we want the. So this is something I didn't know. I wouldn't wave paint the ghost mesh, but the one without the mouth, the one that's invisible. But I've learned through this tutorial something very interesting possibilities that we can wave paint them both simultaneously, and this I've seen also in the file. So this, wow, what is the ghost mesh can deform along with this crazy, and that works. So that's it. Here it's trying to explain what happens if we do only deform one of them and not the other. So only deform the muzzle mesh and without having wave paint on there could result in the mouth mesh peeling off the muzzle. Yeah, it will kind of I don't visualize, but it will mean that the muzzle is static. So as we deform the mesh, it just always don't get we start to get like a blocky thing, is a brick behind. So it's like, because it's rigid, I've tried that because I was in the beginning, so it works, but it's annoying. It's like a wall. Eventually it gets in the way, and you get to see the original the shape that is below, and not exactly, you don't end up not having the good deforms. They are blocked sometimes by the, and on the opposite, only deforming the mouth mesh. No, this is what I was talking. This is the opposite. Only deform the mouth mesh results in topology shifting across the muzzle shrink wrap like the lips. I have to reread this multiple times and think, yeah, well, we can try out and see by ourselves, right? Wave paint or shape keys both the mouth and muzzle to get good results like cheek movements. Okay, so I was able to get cheek movements. Is kind of cool. I've tested the combination of wave painting. Here I'm just not sure if the wave painting are equal, or they are just similar. Wave paint, or just they can be done like without too much attention to both. So you can use shape keys also to get good results like cheek movement. Okay, so why is this wrong? Why it is good? We see there's some thing there, strange subdivided mesh, but I don't really catch. But okay, muzzle shape keys. Okay, for certain deforms in the middle of the muzzle, you don't need to deform the mouth along it. For certain deforms in the middle, you don't need to deform the mouth along it. So right, because of how the subdivision shrink wraps of the mouth mesh are set up. Yes, okay, that's certain, because there's a the muzzle behind doesn't have a mouth, so that's it shrink wraps to an area that is like curve, and that's good enough for the mesh to flow over it. No need to set or organize thing. I think that's it. The mouth mesh will automatically wrap its new topology, yeah, around the muzzle deforms. Yeah, great. So I use it for funny cheek puffs and sinks. Okay, so shaped keys for puffs and sinks. Okay, interesting use of shaped keys. Can do that with Armature deform, extra bones. I think he used extra bones actually. Or actually those bones that I saw, they were not deformed bones, perhaps they were used to drive shaped keys. Yeah, so possible too. I didn't know in that case, so good idea here. Because it might be easier to control, to shape those things with shaped keys. In a certain way, it might even be more, I don't know if it's more versatile, but the fact is that yeah, it might be complicated. Either way, we need to get the shapes good. So okay, so this page is completed. We just need to wave paint. Yeah, a lot of wave paint to do here, and then we might have to go back in this object. Will be, if we try to do very simple, we'll use the file here as a reference. We're not gonna copy paste those stuff, right? So here, wave painting, folks. So we'll start with these. So we'll probably want some protection. We go up to here, so we don't want what is behind, which is above that thing. So we'll just wave paint this, and we can start by having like, yeah, I can actually make something like that. Then we get here, wait, okay, there is no parenting, right? So let's parent, not use automatic waves because there's no indication about it. So Armature deform with empty groups. Then we get this and this. We can start, so we start with that, and we can already protect. I think there's something wrong about my mirror modifier. No, it's just that so why, oh okay, mirror, this goes here. Alright, something I recognize now. I don't know why okay, so this is for some reason, yeah, this is linear blend skinning, right? So let's see, and the topology here, the mesh geometry. Yeah, so this is the first wave, so that's why. So regular waves for this stuff. So yeah, something like that, right? So then a little blend waves there should be okay. Then we cannot then get this. This is symmetric, so this should be, yeah, here the corners, we should get some waves here, and also let's push those waves there and probably blur some stuff. Yeah, blur stuff here, and that should be it. Then for the side here, yeah, this should start increasing, yeah, start It's good that's already separated the so we'll see how he wave painted Kamau, wave painted these two bones, right, for the person. That should be interesting because I don't have much understanding about this particular mount rigging problematic. So here we wave paint this. There are many things I need to see. There are also for cartoonists especially, right? But the concepts in general, oh, this will be bad. So maybe we need to pause those things, right, folks, to avoid some, yeah. So here we see already that we exaggerated. So also this won't really help, folks. We need to get zero weights active. Now we know, even though we're not sure I'm gonna use so where is the show wire? Is Control Alt Z for me, okay, but it doesn't work and I'm not using mask, so yeah, so never mind, I cannot find my way here, so just gonna wave paint those things. What I can do, of course, is at least take off this from subtract, right, some not that it is working. No, it's not subtracting. Yeah, so that like that. Then here, yeah, I can have blended waves here. I think this is okay. This subdivision, oh yeah, it's the subdivisions, yeah, not used. This is what I would like to have. Let's reset this and see. Okay, this is cool stuff, so this is what I wanted. So here now not this, so here this is the, no, not this to the, okay, I'm lacking a bone here, folks. Oh yeah, I didn't make it, I forgot. Maybe you got confused with yours. So lip down, lip, yeah. And also these names are incorrect, so then we maybe get, yeah, so this one we duplicate, then we rotate Y 180, then we go down, let's see, rotate, we align this with actually just the roll right there, and Z is pointing forward. The positioning, we will sort of get them matching like this. Alright, this seems to be correct, so alright, so then we can also change this to lip down, and then I think that's the last one to wave paint, since the rest is symmetrized, and through this small amount of waves it should be much easier to. This is okay, relatively okay, and then okay. Of course we want to move this up. Yeah, we see there's some inconsistencies there, and then so here this one, so we can blend waves around here, I guess. This we can probably do this here in the corners. Here we can get some, yeah, maybe more here. Let's reset. So okay, it makes sense, but more blur maybe. Then this one, probably less influence here on the sides. Here we can even subtract, because it's seems a bit too overwhelming, so maybe here we also want to take off this, then we blur, something like that. All right. Then we continue here. This we can, yeah, maybe this is good to have. And here we can have some blurring here, maybe, yeah. And this blur around here, and then, yeah, then we remember there was some strange things going there, so just fix like that for this one. Yeah, there's strange shapes there, but if we wave from, so there are things that's not so simple. Even on this small amount of geometry, it's actually a bit, yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the shrink wrapping thing that is. Yeah, we should remember anyways, this is linear blend skinning, and it's not, it's not supposed to be very smooth. Maybe my mesh of the lips is bad, so also this is not getting it, or maybe there are rogue waves. No, I don't see any. Ah, here. So this is too strong influence. Let's take off this from this side bone. There is still not very good, but I think that was an improvement. Yeah, but still strange what is doing there. I think there is some yeah, it's incoherent here how it is blending. Yeah, there we go. And here perhaps we could also get some more smoothing that way. Okay, that's that seems okay for yeah, there these. It's interesting though. I like that we can get some interesting deforms already from. We can shape some. Okay, so these bones now are getting me really. I prefer to manipulate them from the other bone display type, so it is viewport display. I'm just use it to bend the bones, and there's advantage of the b-bone scale. So yeah, it's just difficult to see where they are pointing at, right? But besides that, so this one you can get like this. Yeah, it's still it's shrink wrap, so that's why. So these others, we don't know exactly what we'll do with them, so for now let's give them some bone group color of maybe some color to remember. Okay. Yeah, if this is too big, it will be always. We can at least try to, yeah. Alright, so here we got some. We're starting to get some results of the so as we see, we can move them out, right, as a block, but there's no wave painting on the muzzle. And actually you see why this wave painting of this bone as suggested. This is very, I like that idea. So it will push this mesh, it will help pushing the. So what you need to do is actually, let's get on edit mode here, and let's make some inversion here, right folks? In the documentation, yeah, actually let's do this. And so in the documentation it says, yeah, it's trying to exclude the melt because it's already wave paint, so it's to not stack deform. So maybe this is a good idea, but we'll start from here anyways. We want more, we want to see that should work too. So we need to protect here, and then we start wave painting on the inversion. And so we add here, it's though, of course this is interpreted by Blender by maximum waves, because I didn't wave painted the muzzle yet at all. So yeah, this is pretty annoying. I need to do this one with the rest position. So I have a stable mesh. So however, this was, yeah, it's not very clear exactly until when. It doesn't, yeah, it seems to be just around the, so we'll try to get something like, yeah, protection. So need to do something instead like this. It will be as far as this. No, let's exclude that one. And whatever is outside of this, we just get a Shift K, then we reinvert, and then we can, yeah, we can Shift K and start to remake these waves. So let's make some like a low wave loops around this. Okay, this is the right side, we don't mind, so let's blur this. Alright, this should be good, folks. This should be yeah. Then we can already, okay, rest position, pose position. Okay, so this, of course, this hard deforms because we still have to wave paint the muzzle, right? So maybe we should stick to rest position for a moment. Let's continue here, and yeah, probably don't know which are the deformed bones for the muzzle. It's not here, so let's, I know it's in the file, might be in other place. The textures. Okay, let's read about this thing. Okay, just, it's not a lot of things. We'll go fast on this part, we'll return later. I cannot really read Japanese, but there's a translation here from collaborators. So this is about that. So first, the UV texture, UV data transfer modifier. The basic idea of this step, this is what I've missed reading, so this is very important for me, is to make the mouth texture unwrap around the outer mesh without stretching along with the deforms made in your posing. Alright, so it has nothing to do with the interpenetration things. It's just to improve the, okay. So why this would be so wrong? Because actually the mesh is being stretched and squashed. So maybe this, yeah, I don't know how this would look. This sounds more organic and natural to me. Well, this sounds like. But maybe the deforms are perhaps so exaggerated in cartoon that this might end up looking bad. So even though on a first glance in this it looks fine for me, although we know this has implications, right? And look at this part here. Yeah, there's gonna be pretty bad stuff happening apparently. So this is more regular, this should be better, even though it's, yeah, it might sound a bit too regular. Could be more, there's some in between these, and at least without those anomalies, then this should, I think, would be organically accurate, right? But yeah, probably if you don't want this must be better. So let's see. It's not my area, so I cannot tell much. I just know some basics. So yeah, we see anomaly here. This is probably very, very problematic, and this should happen if we don't take care about this solution here. Eventually I'll have to find this, unless I do vertex painting on low poly models. So this is very crucial apparently. This is pretty important since the mouth rig is universal. Yes, okay. And to do this, by this he means that because the mouth goes anywhere, so on the face. To do the universal, because on the original Sonic they had the mouth couldn't do that. They have one side or the other. Apparently, they had to have multiple mesh. Now the mesh can be the mouth mesh can be everywhere on the same mesh, on the same mouth mesh. It goes everywhere and universal in that sense. But I think there's another connotation to the universal, so it can be used by any Blender user that learns a tutorial. The method to do this, we add a new modifier called data transfer, yes, which allows us to take the UV data from the muzzle mesh and apply it to the mouth mesh. Okay, so it takes data from the source, which is this doesn't include the mouth though, the lips, because it doesn't exist in the muzzle mesh, and apply it to the mouth mesh. Okay, but this is okay. Then we have this. We saw in the video. It was actually quite good in the video, the presentation, although quite fast. If you pause, you can see. Let's just read quickly here just to see if we find something else. Add a new mesh data transfer to your mouse mesh after all of the other modifier. Okay, mouth mesh gets that, of course, that's we know. Select the muzzle mesh as your source, as your source. Then I've done this for cloth rigging. Ignore the warning. It just tells you the muzzle mesh is subdivided. Okay, good to know. And maybe this warning. Enable face corner data and enable UV. So I should know, yeah, this UV stuff, because about that. And we should study about face corner data, what it does exactly, or at least have some basic understanding of why this is used for. Select nearest face interpolated mapping for the final cleanup results shown at the top right. Okay, so yes, I'm familiar with this thing. We use it a lot on those methods of cloth rigging. Apparently is one of the best methods approach. So this will be mapping stuff, so this is very good for many cases. Apparently very conventional. On many tutorials of cloth rigging, some use data transfer modifier, some is just transfer waves. We use nearest face interpolating the mapping. Okay, the other mappings methods aren't too bad, but this one seems the most clear. Yeah, so same idea here. It's really, it makes a difference. The others on, yeah, whatever. Leave face data checked. Face data. All right. Interesting. So and we don't apply it, right? So it stays alive after normal data transfer. As the data transfer modifier is pretty intuitive, I don't really find it in the opposite, unless we are talking about different things. As a data transfer modifier is pretty. You can also use the muzzle. It's also not hyper complicated, but there's a lot of options. Yeah, quite confusing. There are parts of it which are intuitive in actually, but the interface in Blender for it is not too bad actually. It's kind of quite interesting, but okay. As a treasure, you can also use the muzzle mesh normal and apply muzzle mesh normal as a source perhaps, and apply it to the mouth mesh. So there's something here that is there's an inversion. There's a vertex group which was targeted, which I mouth face, I think. Then face corners data. There's UVs and there is custom normal. Okay, there it is here. So under face corners data, shift select. Yeah, good. Custom, you can have multi stuff select there. I use usually for vertex groups, but it doesn't show here. Vertex data, I think I used, and then you have vertex groups. It's not the case here. This is for UV. So shift select the custom normals option. Custom normals. custom normals, okay, it's somewhere there. Okay, now the melt, I get tired, I get too long presentation, but yeah, I won't finish immediate. You will need more time, but I'll be doing this at least for 1 more hour. We'll get as far as we can in this attempt. Now the mount, okay, under pressure, the normal option. Now the mount mesh simply ignores the depth of the lips. This is interesting. For a flat tune-like result. Oh yeah, obviously optional. Finally, add a new vertex. Okay, so this is what they were showing the video. So that's kind of cool. I don't know exactly. Yeah. Even my cartoon don't have this. The stuff I'm trying to do, they would be more like this. So, but this is very cool actually. Good thing for. And maybe from this we could correct from other stuff. But face normals, right? Face corner datas, and then we got this custom normals. I have no idea about this stuff, so this could have several other interesting applications if I learn how to use this. Finally, add a new vertex group that only includes the mouth hole, so it doesn't lose its normals. Okay, so what is a vertex group that only includes the mouth hole? What he means, the mouth hole, the mouth interior, or only the edge ring, which the last one that it makes the inner mouth contour, or all the edge rings that form the mouth contour. Okay, this will show somewhere else anyway. So that was our fast reading of that. Actually, a lot of information, so it's quite accurate. So I like that page. That was very, very instructive for me. Then not familiar with, not good at using the data transfers options. I just use for cloth rigging so far, not for UV. So okay, so Nihongo. Yeah, I can read. I've studied a bit, but I'm not gonna try to read here. Of course, there are a lot of kanji. I would never catch this with my level. So manga no seta yeah, manga whatever. we can research here in some. Yeah, just there's this the quick demonstration here what this does. So we got some this, and so for example, this is really incredible. This is Windows based inbuilt, so if I want to get this thing, I would have to do something like that. It will start recognizing this. Okay, here it is. There are yeah, I lost it. Anyways, yeah, I could reach for the data here. Let's try it again. Another one, the last one. This is for eye. There we go. Yeah, it's hard to draw in this. I think I've lost again. Something I'm missing about the. Okay, never mind. You got the idea. So you can find the. You can actually, if you don't know something, you can find the. It's like a dictionary of kanji digital. Get. Okay. Never. Anyways. Anime. No. Sonic no Hui Fei Sonic no Fei sho facial no the face of Sonic no naka de no naka de by the middle of the face naka de G by the Gini okay this is machine I think or work na hataraki the work hataraki suru no ga suru no ga is a form that no ga as I'm not too familiar, but yeah ro this is mouth how is mouth I don't remember okay kuchi no then this again appears, so this part same stuff there, and okay, and that's it. There's a lot of hiragana, so it's not that hard to read this, but it's not because I can read the phonemes that I understand how to what they mean. Okay, so we go into simpler. Let's see if this is the image here, because they don't show in the translation. Okay, apparently we got some deforuto. I thought it was deformation. Deforto no. It's a strangerism. It's some English words there. Defort, and that again then it looks some sort of physics. I have no idea what bones perhaps, or maybe it's no, it's here for some reason. All right. So yeah, okay, let's get mouth expression. Oh, there we go. Mouth expression is a particularly cartoonish and special movement in Sonic's facials. A unique deformed setup has been made to reproduce the movement of the mouth that slides over a wide range. Good. As a flow, we prepared a dummy low mesh that is the basis of deformation. Okay, the muzzle ghost mesh object, and smoothed it to make it high resolution, right? Then the mesh is deformed by pushing it along the surface of the sphere. Then the mesh is deformed to which mesh? Then the mesh is deformed by pushing it along the surface of the sphere with a sculpt deformer. This is where used as a wrap influence to transform the render mesh. This makes it possible to reduce wrinkles compared to deforming the high mesh model as it is, while maintaining the sphere silhouette of the mouth while giving it a slippery facial expression. So this might be another method, so maybe some sort of lattice. So yeah, so this is the shrink wrapping sphere, like, and then we got that this mesh, as it deforms, it shrink wraps to this, to perhaps in a certain limit. It never gets to, yeah, so this helps like the structure to maintain the face. So this is the shrink wrapping concept for certain facial features. And the cool thing in the universal Sonic mouth method tutorials, that is this sphere can actually be deformed, and this is kind of crazy in many ways. So by armature deform, so, or even shape keys, and then we would change how this influence the, so you can deform instead of deforming. It's better to deform them both simultaneously, apparently, as explained. So this makes it possible to reduce wrinkle compared to deforming only the high mesh model as it is, while maintaining the sphere silhouette of the mouth while giving it a slippery facial expression. Okay, the rounded thing. Okay, the arrangement of the bones is quite different because the modeling of Sonic's face is quite different from the real character. Okay, so this for perhaps stylization. Still the basic idea is the same. Facial expressions are created by incorporating bones, setting the operating limit with a motion path, and moving within that range while linking with influence. So here maybe they are explaining some original product, right, already made, so it's like context, requires more context how they used to do Sonic Forever, or they did in a certain project. I don't think this has to do immediately what we are doing here. At V is not the same case. At VE Lab, in the case of the general human model, in order to make effective use of the facial setup complete in this way, the facial model created after that can be created using the original mesh. It has become a rule. Okay, context, history context. If you create it as the same topology model, you can transplant the facial rig semi-automatically with the in-house porting tool, and you will be able to operate it efficiently. Okay, so background story important. Then here this is another collaborator who uses apparently this universal sonic maverick and shaped some new crazy expressions here. Really cool. Yeah, see this. I would like to see if all that is possible. Yeah, this is kind of expression I want to do on my characters. And yeah, so this is the base, and then we are back to 1. And that's it. We've read everything here, went over everything. There's the file. There's some text here until before we return. We need to. I stopped because I needed to wave paint this, and I would like to know exactly the bones for the cheekbones, for those areas on the muzzle to deform. But I need, this is about the file, so the file will be the last thing we do. So then have we showed that?
Talk about being stubborn and full of surprises.
Yeah, there's I barely see no difference, but there's some better thing in the mouse, lip smoothness. So this can probably achieved also with corrective smooth modifier, old shrink wrap modifier, vertex group, new smooth shrink wrap vertex group. So okay, animation demo, okay, and then we already watched that, and there's some demonstrations here. And then final note, if it matter to read the last thing, I made this tutorial back in 2021, okay, so long time already, 2 years ago, even more, 3 years ago, about 2 years ago. So collaborate, and there's a Psifinity DXY, and there's a struggle to find a permanent place for it since after sticking around for here a while. I think this community is a nice spot. It's a great spot. Welcome to Blender Artist. Actually, I came after, I guess. This kind of idea could be used for more than just Sonic, certainly, and that's why I'm figuring it out now. For example, I've already made some headway using it by Kirby, and on Kirby, another project. Hopefully you guys can find some use for it too. We will, or at least I will. Okay folks, so we can close that because we are going to now find out if we still can. Yeah, we've been doing this for about 3 hours. That's a lot, but we've went through lots of concepts, and I think this is worth it. So yeah, actually I don't expect this to be watched as a tutorial because it's too long, but if anyone is willing to understand this particular thing, right, without with more contextualization, right, and someone trying to remake it, then this live stream is there. And unfortunately I can't make it small, but that is our progress so far. And at this point, let me just I think I'll stop for today, and I'll be back tomorrow to continue here, and then we'll go straight to the file, which is here. Actually, let's read something here, right? Let's get some contextualization, folks, because I haven't even read this. I was trying to understand the object modifiers here. So everything is here. So and here there's the bones that I was willing to get made. So let's go to, okay, do you have a Discord server? No, actually not, Sequoia. I thought about it already, but I'm concerned about how to manage this entire Discord server. It could be a great idea though. Yeah, maybe that was long ago. Yeah, 1 hour ago. So sorry, Sequoia. Anyways. Then at least that message. Okay, so let's just read this thing or try to find anything. So in the file that is free, you get in the site, in that post, we have the mount, we have the flat mount, and so the 3 objects, and the muzzle. So in the documentation there, the text and image, in the post and those journal stuff, we were only talk about muzzle mesh, and I think flat mount mesh. Yeah, and there is this, in this file there's this mount flat, which is very similar to the mount. It contains a mount, and the mount contains a mount, and the muzzle only contains, yeah, it's the ghost mesh. It doesn't contain mount. So if we hide here, see, no mount, and the other ones, this has an open mouth, so it has a hole, and that one similar thing, so they match. And there's some difference here in the, at least I thought I see some difference. Yeah, here, if we hide here, yeah, there's something that builds up. I don't really understand that, but that doesn't matter. Let's read. Here it's stuff on animation. Is there anything? Now these are my add-ons, this mesh on skin. So let's just read this, and that will be it for now. Then next time tomorrow, I hope we'll continue this, and we'll go directly to rebuild this from our file, and reproducing whatever we can until we got it done. It should be pretty simple. So yeah, so tips, please read. I did. So now I finally gonna read, because now I want to reproduce it. So toggle simplify in render properties to see the smooth low poly versions of the mesh without breaking the setup. Alright, let's go. Toggle simplify. Yeah, I don't use this. Yeah, I know where this is. My stuff already simplified, so I don't use toggle simplify in the render. Okay, so if we go here, let's see how this looks like. Yeah, we see the simplification, max subdivision. Okay, zero out the subdivision, so that's max. Yeah, render. Yeah, we could render too. Let's see if we have a camera. Yeah, if you, yeah, here is we simplify, and without simplify. Yeah, didn't see much because with render it has 6 already, so that's a lot for me at least. So with simplify we work faster. Our render in viewport, right? So you can change here. Look at the difference. So toggle simplify in the render. Okay, properties. Oh, in the render, right? It's already set. Okay. Then I kept the hero speech animation in this file just to show the capabilities of the rig. You can turn off the audio in video editing, of course. Okay, I know this. You get just you need to get like a video sequencer editor, like a timeline. Then you can have you set it like this. We can like yeah, now I kinda here could be the timeline, but yeah, if you animate then action editor probably, and where's it? Yeah, timeline. So if I yeah, so there's some sound, but you're not gonna hear. Oh, you're listening to, yeah, because of this. So
Talk about being stubborn and full of surprises.
Long time no.
yeah, so
Talk about being
here in the, if you get this thing, you can tap here in the sidebar and get this display in the sound, right? I selected the sound strip and then sound in the time strip here. There's yeah, this. Sorry, there is too much little space here to show my screen because I split to see the chat now that I can. So then display waveform, you can click this with Alt 4 if you import many sound tracks. Then you, because they by default they are like that. So then yeah, so we can make tests here, but are there animations here? Oh, there's a pose library. That's very cool. We're gonna see this in a moment. So let's see. Okay, so we'll keep this. No, I'm not gonna save this file. We are opening. We'll close, not save. We'll open again. So I was looking for the action editor, right? So where's it's the dope sheet editor, of course. Yeah. There are actions. Yes, there are actions, but do they play with the if they exist? No, this seems to be not exactly actions. I don't know which. Yeah, I don't know how to access this.
talk about
So there seem to be some animation going on, but
being stubborn.
for which object maybe it's for us part. It should be related to the armature, right? But
Full of surprise.
oh, there we go. Speech and it should be here, so I should have read first. So capture, okay. Pose library has more examples and shapes used in the animation. Okay, gonna look at that next. The hidden mount flat. Oh, that's model. Okay, is the old version of the model. What is old version? It has a more flat shrink wrap vertex group. So it also has the transferred normal data to the muzzle mesh to appear like extra. Okay, so this is like an alternative. This is why they are all equal. So it's like actually just need two meshes. Either use one or the other. Now flat. I see. Those are like alternative version. All right. Apparently that's it. So it's not like we need either we use one or the other. We don't need both. But here I think they are stacking because everything is active. So they are yeah. supposed to appear. I don't know how they work together. Yeah, they stack, so probably it's okay. It's just process more thing, but we can pick between one and the other. So maybe the old version was, I think this old version is related to the, yeah. So sorry folks, maybe it's me that I have difficulty understanding clearly everything. That's why I need to revise everything to the basis. So I think this is the old and new, right? Yeah, exactly. So this, the old mount flat will do that, and the new mount will do that. Ah, yeah, that's explained. So, yeah, very good, very good. Good job. Although, of course, we get sometimes confusion. It's to get through all that too. But usually it's like that. So at least there is the documentation. Is very. I like the way. I actually I'd like there would be more content like that. Alternatives to just plain tutorial linear stuff, right? This is more like multi-directional, like books. You don't need to read the book so from start to end. You at least technical books. But anyways, it has a more flat shrink wrap vertex root. Okay, it also has transferred normal data of the. Okay, that's the other thing. Extra continue. Okay. All that aside, hope this demo is helpful to you. Yes, very, very helpful. Thanks a lot, Kamau. That was incredible content to start playing with. Really great job work you've made. Amazing work to have actually make this accessible. To deserve like a complete tutorial to go faster, but doesn't matter. This is good enough. Maybe someone will come up with a tutorial about that. This is nearly sort of that, but not a tutorial. Just okay. So that's it, folks. No. There is the last thing actually that I wanted to see here is those actual animation panel is the pose. I hope there are a lot so I can check. Yeah, there's a lot. So so many that yeah, I wanted to know what shapes we can do. I just dislike how this chest thing appears. So can we fake it somehow? Yeah, we can. So let's see if yeah, let's go for the face here. So animation, no, in the armature. Then okay, let's start to. Okay, I need to hide apparently some objects here. Okay, so here if we get the. Of course, if we take off the texture, we lose this feature of the flat normals, right? So this is why we need the UV map, right? And that thing. So we need to see the texture to be able to actually see. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. If we get here. Is there a way to see the similar thing? Shadows? No, doesn't work. We would need to, unless we are using this one, then yeah, we can. Yeah, this one I like. That's what I wanted. So let's go back here. Animation. So we got all those things. Shadow, cavity, ridge, all set. Some things here we can set also differently. Okay, I like matte caps, so we go for this case. Animation, no, armature, animation. Okay, let's see if we can. We need to pick the Yeah, or just don't pick anything. Lips, okay, so basic shape, right? Lips open, okay, nice. How this deforms? Alright. Then we can play with that. Yeah. Never mind this. Okay, so set, open, mouth small. Alright, this cool cartoon expression. Mouth oval O verticalized, mouth B, like, yeah. We can assess how this wave paint, mouth E, oh actually, yeah, set, E, B, so this is lip sync stuff, right? So interesting to make mouth shape for lip sync, mouth, so how does this solve something with the teeth probably? Mouth I, mouth in English, right? So it's not E, it's A. Mouth K, mouth I, or I don't know, mouth O. Okay, similar to the other mouth speech. Mouth U. There are many setups for a lip sync, so mouth E, mouth G, and that's it, folks. So okay, the mouth is not the mouths that are here are very useful, though it's not like yeah, not like I was. This is more lip sync. I was expecting something more like this. So you see, yeah, this probably this happening because we need some UV stuff. Let's see. UV. What did I need to get? Texture. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, of course we can. Probably there are better pros for that. What I really find cool is how this linear blend skinning allows for, can have those teeth mouth, like yeah, it's crazy. We can get that smooth. I really like the simplicity of this and of the how this linear blend skinning work. It's also very easy to pose for bendy bone splines, as I was really suffering to get. Even if you start to have some horrid interpretations there, apparently this already is pretty straightforward, like to shape the expression. We can at any time plus get this one, right? So then to build on top of this, yeah, I don't think this is what I need for myself, but yeah, it's interesting to know. Now I know finally that this was an old mouth, so it's not like you need 3 of them, it's just you can do this with just 2. So either this and this, or either this and this. Actually, sorry, either this and this, or either this and this. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. I think I can complete this in the next time. Now we've made these discoveries and developments. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry for the excessive amount of time. Hope you could get some valuable information from this, and also sharing this fabulous work here on this, sharing this and documenting all this very, very original and useful and crazy for 3D cartoon adaptations, right? Tutorial. So thanks, Kamau, thanks, folks. We are going to now close our presentation. See you next time, folks. Take care and happy blending.